And welcome everyone to another Monday night here at Proficiency Bonus as we continue on our tales in We Met in a Tavern. My name is Matthew, and by my players' horrible roles combined, somehow I am still your dungeon master. So before we jump over to our players, a couple of quick shoutouts. Thank you to Team MZ, Many Sided Dice, Streamlabs, OBS, Twitch, and our favorite friends who are not, well, actually, they're part of the family too, so I don't know how to refer to these people as at this point, but Little Dragon Corp. If you haven't checked them out yet, type in chat, !Little Dragon. You can get 10% off your order with them by using the discount code PROBONUS. Check them out. They've got all sorts of wonderful little dice. You keep seeing me and hear me brag about these. These are what I'm planning on rolling this evening. They haven't let me down so far. Had a couple of near let my players down some, but yeah, we let that happen as it may. And we are going to jump over to our players now for a quick recap as to what happened last time. So our band of, somewhat questionably moraled pirates had allied their way to the leadership of this small, somewhat sparsely populated island, claiming to be the aid from the capital. Come to find out that not everything was quite as this Lord Tamford had apparently led them to believe, and they had spoken with the indigenous tribe of kobolds, who were referring to them as saviors who were going to get rid of these usurpers and open up their hunting ground again. As the party made their way back to town, only to find that new people had arrived. Some of the townsfolk had been sequestered within the inn. Others seemed to be missing. There was one rather large guard outside the inn. Eventually, the party made their way in, ran into a new potential friend in a rather diminutive halfling, who actually managed to help keep a young boy safe, as well as prevent these individuals from lighting the inn and all of its inhabitants on fire by, shanking him in the leg with a bottle until dead. So don't mess with grandma, kids. If she's got a alcohol bottle near her, you will end up severely injured. But eventually the party made their way back over to their ship, filled in captain, and they decided to steal the other ship. Or sorry, commandeer. Pirate term. They have since taken over the ship, have sailed to the north portion of the island, as some of the party felt that they really wanted to know what was going on here and didn't want to leave any unfinished business. So that is where we pick up this evening, as our party has made their way to the north side of the island. The captain has lowered the longboat, and our 5 party members are slowly rowing to shore, with Lydia and Snowmoon seem to take the brunt of the physical part of this. As our viewers at home have noticed, Lydia is not with us this evening. She's having some minor technical difficulties. We are hoping that she is back up and running shortly, but until she either is able to make it, we're going to have Lydia on Roleplay Light this evening. But with that, we will pick it up, as you guys have probably about 5 or 7 minutes before you hit beach. Anything anyone would plan to do? Anything you guys want to talk about?
Not
Okay,
guys
so-
think we're
particularly.
No?
I would like to get to know all of you.
Oh crap.
Oh, I don't believe I've introduced myself. I'm Furia.
Hello, I'm Sarah.
I noticed.
And you, little one? And I'm gonna turn to Art.
Well, I don't know about how little. I think you're shorter than me. That's new. My name is Artemis. Art is fine.
And you, big boy?
Hello, my name is Balasar, but you can call me Snow Moon.
Oh. Delightful.
Wait, did I know that?
You
It
might
hasn't
have.
come up.
I think the
Would that-
player knows. I don't think the character does.
Yeah, I don't know if I've brought it up before, but
Yeah, I'm trying to get something fixed up real quick.
Is anybody hungry? She's gonna open like a little granny purse. Pull out. I have cinnamon cookies.
no, I'm okay.
I'm alright. I can make my own food if I need to.
You know, sure, why not? Let's see. If I get poisoned, then we know you're to be avoided in future.
Oh no, sweetie, those are the other ones.
Okay, good. Art will take one.
Remind me never to snoop in your bag.
You never look in a lady's purse.
It's probably a good idea that I don't carry one then.
Art looks down at the big giant bag that they carry and then shrugs.
Is it good?
Yes.
Good.
I don't know if there's a role I should do, but yes, let's just say it's good.
As long as it's not poisoned, it's.
I usually just do a straight constitution to decide whether I like something or not, but it's up to you.
Do you like cinnamon and or cookie? There you go.
I don't want to offend an old lady.
Who also has poison cookies on her.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys managed to coast up and sort of just slide the longboat right up onto the beach. And the adventure is yours. As you're looking out, you can see the beach goes up for probably about 50 or 60 feet. And then you're starting to see, again, very similar to those of you who visited the kobolds, some very sort of light forestation, and then the hills start again. Go ahead, all four of you can go ahead and make perception checks.
Uh, 13.
17.
Oh, okay.
8.
2.
Alrighty then. Hey, you know what, we're just... Just because I think...
Technically 7, but God.
Okay. Let me just check Lydia's here, because we're going to have... Okay. Yeah, so at least this way Fury is not the only one who sees this. So, as you are looking around, you do see there seems to be a rather large... one of the hills seems to have a rather large, almost straight, smooth stone face on one side of it that you can catch a little bit of a glimpse of, and then it starts to curve around sort of out of your line of sight. But it doesn't look like any natural stone that you've seen before. It definitely looks that this is a worked surface.
I pointed out, what's that? That's not usual.
I would like to go up and knock on the smooth stone surface.
Okay, so it'll take you a few minutes. It's a good, 60, 70 feet away, but all
Oh.
of a sudden, it's like
Is
Furia
there-
and Lydia can sort of see it because there's not a whole, right now you're standing out on the beach. And as they're looking up, they're seeing a few trees, and then these hills and mounds are sort of behind the first probably 7 or 8 trees.
Okay.
So it's not thick, but it's at the same point you're not standing right in front of it either.
Is there any evidence of people landing here before? Or do I think they landed on a different portion of beach up in this area?
Go ahead and make, I'll call this an intelligence check.
They said they were going to some temple-y thing, right? Or am I just
12.
thinking wrong?
So, with that, you would remember the person you were speaking with at, whatchamacallit?
Oh?
At the
Tavern?
village.
Okay.
Said that they took off heading north on foot. So you're
Okay.
pretty sure that they didn't land on the section, that they were walking from the town up this direction. So you could go up and investigate that area, that stone, if you like, see if you can find any tracks or anything. But
I was just remembering that the guy in the boat said the longboats are missing, but I could remember wrong as well. So, yeah, I would. If you're going towards the flat rock, then I'd be following along.
okay.
Yeah, I'd follow as well.
So Lydia takes a couple of minutes, pulls the boat a little further up onto the sand, make sure it's not going to just sort of drift away. And then tails in behind you. You start walking forward. The first thing you notice is the outer stone. It looks to be almost like a granite or a limestone. That as you're looking at it, you can see what look to be like chisel or pick marks on it. So while it is rather smooth, it's as smooth as a chiseled wall could be. It's not like somebody took it, polished it, and then reinstalled it. As you're looking, though, you do see as it starts to bend around the corner, there appears to be a body laying amidst some looks to be stone debris.
Oh dear. I'm gonna go over to the body, pointing it out. Come, I believe there's some body over here. Gonna is it very clearly a body, or could I check for a pulse?
And initially, when you started walking up, you really weren't sure. As you got a little closer, though, it is very obviously a body.
Okay.
As you get up, and again, from where you're standing, the wall sort of curves. So you're facing the wall, and it's curving off to your right, and then sort of disappears, or almost like around a corner. The debris you're seeing is coming out from that sort of side where you really can't see the wall itself. Picture standing in a corner of a house. You can see the wall right in front of you, but that front wall, you really can't see much unless you walk out to the right and turn and look at it. So you guys are sort of walking up, and you can see the debris, you see a body, but you don't get a whole lot of image of that front wall.
Okay.
As you're starting to get a little closer, though, you definitely see that a lot of this rubble is laying on top of this person.
Okay.
And the head is twisted in a very unnatural manner.
Oh dear.
Is there anything else we see around the body? Like,
Are you going all the way up to the body? This is what
yeah.
as Sarah started to move up in front to get towards it. So yeah, if you guys are going all the way up to the body, as you get closer, you can see that there is about a 10-foot hole in this stone wall. It looks like something was used to breach said wall.
Um,
Is there any evidence of like what kind of breach? Like, was it blown out or?
Go ahead and make an investigation check for me.
Okay.
What kind of body is this? Is it a kobold body or a human or elfish?
Oh, okay. It does not look to be kobold. It's-
22.
Oh, okay. It is rather difficult to tell what sort of body it is, as most of the while the head is twisted, as you all noticed it, a lot of the facial features and like the ear have been burned badly. And Art, as you're sort of poking around and investigating, you find a couple of what looks to be little scraps of what almost seem to be parchment. And as you're looking at it, you find there's a small corner of one that looks to have a portion of a circle with a couple of runes written into it. You're pretty sure that something of an arcane nature was used to
Oh, okay.
forcibly open the doors.
Well, it looks like someone really wanted to get in and used magical means.
It must have taken a great deal of force to do this kind of damage to a stone wall like this.
Some sort of explosion. His face is burned. Or their face. I can't tell.
Are there any like scorch marks on the stone at all, or not? Not really.
It's hard as you're looking at the stones. There's a bunch of very small pieces, so you can find some that have got little bits of blood. There's some black spots on others. There's others that's got chunks of dirt and other materials you're really not 100% sure on them. Given the way this person's face looks, you'd be pretty confident that was some sort of fire-based explosion. But you're not sure if it was just a spell or if they used other means to enhance the destructive capability.
You're supposed to look away and walk away all cool-like from those things. You're not supposed to look directly in front of it. What's through the hole?
Okay, so for that, we're going to jump to another map.
I would like to loot the body.
Alrighty then. So go ahead and make an investigation check for me. Let me know if everyone can see it. I'm sorry, I've got a placeholder token for you, Sarah.
it's okay.
Honey.
Alrighty then. So give me a second. I didn't have my dead body ready.
Huh.
I'm not even gonna throw the dead body. As you're going through the dead body, you find just a fairly. It looks like a fairly worn set of just plain leather armor. 3 daggers, and you find 19 silver pieces and 12 copper.
I would stuff the daggers and the money in the bag of holding.
Oh, okay. And then as you're all starting to sort of creep and look into this opening, carefully stepping on the rubble, the first thing you notice as you look in, those of you with dark vision, those without lose sight very quickly, as it is dark within. The light cascading from this time of day, you're only really getting probably the first 10 feet in. But as you look in, the first thing you notice is it seems to be carpeted with a very sort of rough, almost like a potato sack type material. as you're looking at it, and again, those of you with night vision see this a little better, but even without the first couple of feet, the first like 10 feet in, you all notice it. The floor is smeared with what looks to be dried blood. Looks like footprints all over the rug. At points when you're looking at it, it looks like people are walking on this and wiping blood off their feet before continuing to other areas.
Well, I guess we found their welcome mat.
Oh dear.
I can see my token, but nothing else at the moment.
Oh,
Same.
bloody hex. Okay. Let's see.
Indeed, bloody.
I thought that was just part of the cave.
Nope, that's okay. Let's. Oh wait. I wonder. Guess we're gonna test with Furia. Okay. You see anything else now? It's still just your token.
I see my sort of a rectangle far away from my token. It's white and stony.
Okay,
bet
like
it's
down here.
Nothing.
Yes.
Okay, well, bloody hell, this just happened. They updated the dynamic lighting on Roll20.
I see a token and
And-
blackness.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to turn off dynamic lighting. Oh, wait, no. We're going to do this in force line. And global illumination. Okay, how about now?
Okay.
There we go.
More realistic.
Yeah.
Okay. So you should still, and Fury, where I stuck you in the room, you still can't see outside of that little area, right?
I can see a bloody welcome mat, and I can see a stony path ahead.
Okay, and you've got doors on either side that you can't see through, right?
Right.
Perfect. Okay, so at least that part's working. Okay, so keep in mind, who has night vision? Is it Furia and Art, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
Do you have dark vision?
Snowmoon.
Halflings
Actually,
don't.
Snowmoon probably has his still going because it's 8 hours
Oh,
Oh,
that's
okay.
right. I got it from.
from
Lydia?
before when we did the
Yeah,
Cobalt.
someone. Okay.
Yes.
forgot.
Okay. So
That was.
so Lydia, seeing that it's dark, will take out a pebble and cast light on it, so the rest of you can see. And we'll hand it to either Sarah or Art, who's ever going to be walking in the front.
I'll walk in front, why not? Putting a wizard first has never been trouble before.
Are
Okay.
you sure about that, Art?
We're going to put a little yellow dot on Art so we know Art's got a light. Okay. So as you're looking around, you can see,
Oh boy.
again, as you walk into this entry, the first you notice is looking at it's old blood. It doesn't look new. It doesn't look like it has anything to do with the body that Fury was just checking out outside. But it's definitely, you can see that this room has seen a lot of wear. You also see that there are a couple of what look to be old, somewhat in disrepair longbows leaning up against the corner Art to your left.
Over here.
Nope, sorry, left as you walked in, so to the right-hand side.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry, the character's left.
Okay.
Stitch left.
I guess I'll take a look at them if there's anything like significant to them, like. I don't
Get-
know.
As you're looking at them, almost immediately you notice one thing. That same black clawed emblem that you saw on the captain's door appears on the hand grip on each one of them.
Okay, people, looks like we have, the big baddies are here. I guess they'll, like, grab the longbow and kind of hand it over to Furia.
Well, this looks like it hasn't been used in a while, so they must have already been here before and known. Perhaps they weren't out to get the same thing we were. Well, that's handy.
How-
It sure looks like a lot has gone on inside this cavern, but just by the floor alone.
You're telling me. How dry does the blood look? Like, could we like discern like any time frame?
I just lost everybody. Give me a second here.
Put the lights out.
Something different.
We're all back
I
in
have dark vision. This is not supposed to happen.
How's that?
It's a murder mystery. Oh,
Yeah.
back.
It's a little.
Okay.
I can't see down the hallway. There we
Okay.
go.
Yep, that's.
Yeah.
There's a reason I was
we go.
doing one thing specifically and didn't realize it would enable for everything. Okay.
Does Sigma have control over the placeholder?
Should.
She should. Okay.
I should.
Let me just check. I thought I get put it on there.
I keep scooting back to my beginning spot.
Oh no, it's doing the same thing that was happening to me yesterday.
Okay. Yeah, let's. Okay, put you in the room. See if you can move yourself now. Now the catch is you can't move through the black walls. So if you're trying to drag through a wall, it'll bounce you back. It thinks you're running into a wall.
Okay. And yes, I can move myself.
Okay.
Sorry, technical difficulties.
No, it's roll 20 and proficiency bonus. That's bound to happen. So, okay, I forgot. Somebody asked something and I forgot what it is. We hit the technical difficulty. Oh, the blood.
Like how dry is the blood?
Yeah, it looks old. It's like you don't, as you're looking at it, it's easily weeks, months, could even be years. It's hard to say.
Do we hear anything like further
ahead,
down the chamber?
Go ahead and make a perception check.
Oh boy, that's a 2, so 5.
No, you can hear the sounds of your fellow group members sort of walking around, scuffing the ground, looking at the blood, checking the bow, but you really don't hear much beyond the room you're in.
Is like the age of the body outside similar, like months, weeks old?
No, when you look at that, you're assuming that probably happened within the last couple of hours, if that.
So what's so special about going this way?
Remember, we're only seeing the footprints of blood. Doesn't mean they haven't come this way. Maybe we should start sneaking and listening going forward.
Sneaking is my middle name.
Good to hear it.
You hear Lydia groan in the back.
Okay, since I have a light, basically, in my hands here, should I be in front still if we're sneaking, or...
Well, I guess Snowmoon and I could go first, because Snowmoon now can see in the dark.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Put the muscle in the friend.
The tiny
not-
people and the large furbolg will stay behind.
I'm not the best
Oh.
at sneaking, but I'll do my
By
best.
the way, Sarah, before it alarms you, I can turn into different animals. So if you happen to see a very large bear running at you, it might not be dangerous.
Might is the keyword.
Well, it also might not be me, but it probably is, seeing as how I doubt this island has bears on it.
Can you speak as a bear?
Unfortunately, no. I can, dance and bite people, which has come in handy. I can also be
Dancing
other
does come handy.
animals.
Gives really killer piggyback rides if you're willing.
Or unwilling, I might, help you speed up.
Don't be
Just
afraid of
saying,
bears. Just I'll
before
keep that in mind.
before something happens. I've also been a cat, a shark, spiders, stuff like that.
And I thought my resume was padded.
Oh, that's good.
I would like to make a stealth roll.
Okay, fire away.
I will do the same.
I will try.
Oh, 17 on the die.
Got a dirty 20. Wow, I'm rolling great
Yeah.
so far.
Got a
It's showing
7
you're rolling at disadvantage with your armor,
Oh,
right?
right. Let me roll again. Oh, no. 3.
No!
As did Lydia.
Do I have disadvantage because I am basically like shining with light?
A
or
beacon.
No? Yeah.
I'll say yeah if you're carrying the light. Or I'll put it this way. So you can do it one of two ways. You can keep the light out, and you'd have disadvantage on the check. Or you basically she handed you a small stone, so you can stick it in your pocket, and then make a regular roll, but you'll have disadvantage on your perception checks because you're basically walking around in almost pitch black.
Even though I have dark vision?
Oh, you have dark vision.
I do.
I
Why are
forgot
you
you're a gnome.
carrying the light?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to blind Grandma.
I would say you'd probably be better off handing it to the one of people who doesn't have dark vision then.
In case we get separated, you know.
I temporarily have dark vision, but
If you want Lydia, we'll take it. So,
Okay.
We'll be backlit. It will be really cool.
and this way, the one of the few people who doesn't have disadvantage on stealth is not going to get disadvantage on the stealth check. Lydia's already got disadvantage, so.
Okay. In that case, I got a 16.
Oh, okay. And Sarah, what about yours?
Got 4. Oh no!
Wow.
I'm putting the dice in dice jail.
I have some more if you
Okay.
want them.
So let's see here. I gotta.
There's a lot of light
There.
changes going on, okay?
Okay, let's see here.
There's small spots in my vision. I can't get them out.
I have cataracts.
I have cats too. I don't have dogs, but
What?
Cataracts.
bad joke. Okay, so yeah, that. Okay, so you guys are feeling fairly stealthy at the moment, most of you. Where are you heading?
All right, now where are we gonna go? Down this
Probably
hallway?
forward.
looks like there's one way to go, so let's keep moving forward, I guess.
Well, you've got the entrance before, and you've got doors on either side as well.
Oh, okay, I missed the doors.
You've got a door here and door here.
Oh.
Well, I mean,
Left.
Is there blood?
on the door,
Doesn't appear to be.
I guess maybe one of the doors while we're here before we go down the hall.
I check for traps, see if I notice any tripwires or obvious things.
Okay, go ahead and make an investigation check.
13.
Does not appear to be trapped.
I will try to open the door.
Okay, the door opens right up for you. And with that, you see... Oops. Wait, give me... There we go. You see a hallway stretching out in front of you.
Guys, it's just a hallway.
You do notice it does seem to turn off to the left at the end of it.
Do we want to open the other door first and just take a peek inside? See if it's any different?
Go ahead. Just close it before we go down this one, or vice versa.
Okay. And I will check for traps and attempt to open this door.
Okay, so go ahead and make an investigation check for me.
15.
Okay, and you discern the same thing. It does not appear to be trapped.
Okay, so I will open it.
Opens right up. You notice there is an entranceway about 10 feet in that turns to your right, and then there is a larger room a little further down. And as you're looking in with your dark vision, 10, 20. Yeah, you can see it. What looks to be shelves running at the far back wall. They look to have something on them, but at this range, you think you'd probably have to get a little closer to really tell what they are. But
Okay.
they look to be about 8 or 9 feet tall, and there's stuff on every shelf.
Alright, so I see there's a turn down to another hall, and there's something at the end of this room. Looks like shelves, but I can't tell what's on it. Maybe if we want to just check in here quickly before we move ahead.
I think that's
Art, there's
respectful.
books.
Hello.
it
All
looks
right,
like
let's go down there, and I'll shut the door that I opened, just
Okay.
for safety, I guess. And
Where are the books? Let me at them.
in this way. Come on.
Ooh.
is that a something I see on the side of the wall there, or is it?
Yes, it is. And that is also, I need to, as you guys are walking here, reveal South, and actually, oops. I think I have that on the wrong layer. I'm supposed to say dark. So as you turn and look down the hallway, you see turn to your right, you see an empty room. You can see all the way to the far end of it, those of you with dark vision. As Lydia comes up behind everyone, the light creeps in and illuminates the room, and it just appears to be an empty room. You do
What
see
does
that there
that do?
is a lever right outside the room, though, next to Snow Moon on the wall.
Should I pull it, or
Does it have a label on it?
do I see any writing near it, or is it
No.
just a lever
Yeah.
on the wall?
You don't see any writing or anything on it.
No, it's good to check.
I don't see any. I mean, it.
Perhaps try the room first. Then we could check the lever.
Yes. Careful, Art. And I see Art running off towards the board.
So,
Oh,
Art,
sorry.
as everyone is up there, go ahead and make a perception check, Art.
Okay.
This is actually going to be before Snow Moon has got a chance to come running into the room.
Uh-oh. Oh, thank. Okay, cool. 23.
Okay. So as you are walking into the
22,
room,
but yeah.
the first thing you notice is that the back wall is just lined with books. Books upon books upon books. As you start walking towards it, though, you pass by this small, looks to be almost like a display case. It's actually very tall for what you're used to seeing things like this as you have to sort of crane on your tiptoes to notice. It does have a slight sort of angled, let's say, as you sort of crane up on your tiptoes and look down, you see a golden-handled dagger with what the blade is sort of long and very slightly curved out of some strange white, like whitish tan material. On top of this glass lid for this display case, You also notice there are 5 what look to be gold coins. But they're that same strange clawed emblem embossed on the coins.
Wow, they had their own currency. Jeez. You said what was tan on the
The
on
blade of the dagger.
Okay.
Actually, so our viewers at home can see a lot. We're going to pull you up and transition that over. And shimmy on over this way. And then you also notice as the rest of you are starting to come into the room and look around, there is a small pool of water. Looks to be sitting in the middle of the room. Looks like small stone bricks placed around it. Outside of the bricks is looks to be some sort of worked metal circle with characters carved into it.
I'd like to investigate the pool.
Okay. And so when you say investigate, what exactly are you doing?
I'm drawing a blank. I want to see if it's like if it's like a summoning circle of some kind.
Okay, go ahead and make an Arcana check for me.
Oh, Granny's not good at that.
We expected Granny to be good at stealth, and that happens. Hey, you're
Oh.
high on this one.
That's gonna be an 8.
Okay, as you're looking at it, as you said, Sarah hasn't had a whole lot of experience with arcane summoning. These do have a strange sort of look to the characters. What languages do you speak?
Common, halfling, and thieves' cant.
Okay, so yeah, it doesn't look like any language that you're familiar with. It's really hard to say if it is magic or not. As you look down into the water is very clear. For as much as you've noticed walking through here, dust on the ground, the dried blood outside, looking down into this water, seems to be crystal clear. As you're looking down into it, it just continues until your vision sort of fades as you're staring down into it, and you get that moment sort of like when you look through a chain link fence and it just sort of goes like, ooh. You just hit that perfectly where it just sort of everything seems to zoom in a little. As you're looking down at this, all of a sudden it feels like you're just sort of falling into this, and you just watch the darkness at the edge of the light's allowance you to see seems to almost jump up towards you as you'll pull your head back from looking at it.
Okay then, not my expertise. Artemis, you're magic inclined, correct?
Sort of.
Can
I
you
guess.
Sort of. Give yourself more credit, Art.
Oh boy.
come here and explain me symbols?
I'll try my best. They give a longing look to the shelf of books.
Would you have
See
picked
the
one up in the few moments since you had gone over there?
Oh, absolutely.
They're not going
Okay.
anywhere, Art.
As
Be
you're
careful, they might.
as you're looking at the book, just real quick, as Sarah's calling over to you. And reading through it, it mentions the first thing you notice as you flip through a couple of pages is the date on the first book that you had just pulled out is 203 DR. 1,200 years ago, give or take. So it looks like these books are very, very old. But they're in surprisingly good condition.
I put
Other than
it
being a
in
little dusty.
my knapsack.
Mhm.
And as you come walking over to the pool, you in fact definitely do recognize these characters. They do match what looks to be at least. You can't. You can make a check if you want to see if you can see them, understand them all, but you recognize them from the teleportation circle you saw Lady Elisa use. So you know that this is some sort of teleportation setup here. Now, if you'd like to make an Arcana check, you can see if you can get anything more from that.
Sure.
Okay, and go ahead and make your Arcana check.
Why do I always roll low on you? 12.
Oh, okay. So it's, you don't recognize, as you're looking through the other symbols, you don't recognize the destination. It looks like this is a fixed, basically a fixed circle. So when this point is activated, it goes to one place, and one place goes here.
Okay.
Are there any loose pebbles like along the stone floor that I see?
Go ahead and make a perception check.
Okay. 13.
You don't notice any loose pebbles, but you do see a couple of look to be small gold coins on the display case beside you.
And it's under glass.
Nope, it's just sitting on top of it.
Oh.
It's literally like the dagger is inside the case. This looks like somebody got home
okay.
from work and dropped their loose change on the countertop and walked
Gotcha.
away.
Yeah, I'll pick up a single coin.
Oh, okay.
And he'll look at it in his hand for a second, contemplating whether, yeah.
As you look it over and flip it over again, you see the same thing that Art saw. It's got that same black clawed image you saw on the captain's door.
I guess like I'll hold it in my hand and look at Furia and look at the pool of water, kind of like suggesting like, what do you think? Should I toss it in?
Is it wise to let the people on the other side know we're here?
That's
Just
why I was hesitating.
Tossing things into the pool. Because if they decide to come through, we have no way to stop them. And we have no idea where that goes. We could have a whole army coming through there, one person at a time.
You're right. And he'll put it back on the desk where it was.
Okay.
Well,
Anything?
sorry.
Go ahead.
It's a fixed pathway, at least. It goes to one place and one place only, but yes, we don't know where it goes. Excuse me, these books are really old. I'm gonna pick up another one.
Okay.
Anything of interest other than they're really old?
As you pick up the next one, this one says it's 513 DR. Looks to be about 300 years later. You gotta spend a few minutes flipping through it, see what it's about.
Yeah, I'll do that, and as well as the other one that I picked up.
Oh, okay. So you watch as Art starts flipping through these books and it's taking a little time to reading it. What would the rest of you be doing during this time?
I'm looking at this display case, checking for traps and attempting to open it.
Oh, okay. Let's go ahead and make an investigation check.
Are there like any other signs of life in here? Like maybe a book open near these chairs or like a fire going somewhere?
Nothing in the area you're in, right? Nothing that you've seen so far.
Okay. Yeah, I guess.
You it everyone would have noticed when you first came in. There was some source of light coming from down that southern hallway.
Okay.
Investigation was 15.
Does not appear to be trapped, but you do notice it is locked.
Darn it. Anybody good at picking locks?
I could smash the glass. It's much easier than pick the lock.
I think I could be of assistance.
Our previous person that was good at that recently got kidnapped. Long story. So it'd be great if you also know how to do that.
I do, and I would like to try my hand.
Okay, so give me a check with your thieves' tools.
Okay. Okay, and then. As a rogue, am I proficient in thieves' tools?
Yes.
Okay. Then 17.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's as you're going through it, and again, you manage to just find that little sweet notes, and you hear the little as it pops, and you almost feel the top sort of bounce up a little bit, and you can hear the sound of those gold coins on top, basically sliding a little bit on the glass. But it is now unlocked and has popped open a little bit.
I want to grab those before they fall, but there you go, dear.
Thank you very much. And I'll just open the top.
Okay. And you see exact same thing. Looks to be a very nice gold hilted, gold pommeled dagger with again, this sort of whitish tan material for the blade.
Do I recognize the material as...
Go ahead and make an intelligence check.
I rolled 2, so no.
There's something about it. You just can't put your finger on it.
I have a feeling I know what it is, but poor Fury.
Unfortunately, Furia does not.
I'm going to poke the dagger, just sitting there. Maybe move it a little bit. And if nothing happens, I'm going to reach in and pick it up.
As you poke it, as you poke the blade, it sort of wobbles a little bit. As you push it, it turns a little bit and stops.
I don't think it's going to bite.
You never know.
True.
And I'm going to pick it up and test its weight, see if it's a good dagger or not.
Okay. Seems to be. As you're sort of holding it out and sort of getting a feel, are you proficient with daggers?
I think so. Yes, I am.
Yeah, it seems weighted properly. Again, you're not 100% sure on what the blade's made out of, but based on its weighting and the way it feels in your hand, it seems like it would be an effective combat tool.
Nice dagger. Probably some sort of ritual thing. Art, when you're done looking at books, I would love to have you take a look at this dagger.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
So, Art, as you're flipping through these books, they seem to be basically history books, but they're chronicling specific events. Every one of them is referencing the Great Hunts. And this group of people that go out and hunt all manner of creatures. For the honor of Malar. Put that in there. And as you're flipping through each book, and occasionally you end up hitting a page in the second book you picked up, talking about a group of them heading to the colder northern parts, north of Waterdeep, north of Neverwinter. Talking about how this small group was going to head north and continue on the hunt and donate all the food to the poor, the downtrodden, and the needy in some of the harder hit areas up north.
Well then, would I recognize that name?
Go ahead and make a, guess I'll call this a religion check.
Oh, probably not then. Okay. $21?
Alrighty then.
Ah!
So, you are not a very religious person, so to speak. But you have, in your time with books, give me a second here, because I made sure to save my info on said individual. You have heard of a specific deity, and where in the oh but Jesus did you go? Give me a second, I lost him. He is an exarch, but I lost his
Flighty.
Okay, there we go. So you are familiar with the deity. It's primarily a deity of the deep wilds, known as Sylvanas.
Oh.
And basically, this Sylvanas is a god of nature. This deity has many lesser deities or exarchs underneath them that service them. In one of the books that you had read, involving events after the spell plague had happened, you remember hearing about this Malar becoming subject to Sylvanas' rule. But Sylvanas really not doing much to change what Malar was doing. But the book you were reading really didn't go into what was going on, what Malar was prior to that. Just more that, oh, here's all this information on Sylvanas. Oh yeah, and they sort of pulled this person under their wing and said, you work for me now, but you just keep behaving, that whatever you're doing is fine. So you know that they're at least somehow affiliated with the deity Sylvanas.
Interesting.
And you would also know that Sylvanas' symbol is an oak leaf.
Okay. Okay. Fear, you wanted me to look at a dagger thing. Does anybody know about Malar? Some nature thingy?
Well, I know about nature thingies, but I haven't heard the name Malar before. It is
How
a
about-
Malar. It is a name, right?
It's a name and it's sort of like a god, except less important. Um.
Now, with you saying that, Lydia will make a check. And yeah, my dice don't like Lydia. Because that was a 4 on the die.
No.
So yeah, Lydia seems to sort of scrunch up her face a little bit and just go, nope. Yeah, I cannot do Lydia's accent, so I'm not even going to try.
Okay. Okay, weird. Well, these are mostly history books, honestly. I would spend my whole life reading these. I will tear myself away.
History books of people or places or just in general?
History books about people going out and hunting, and the phrase "great hunt" came up a lot. People going out and killing a whole bunch of creatures. They're actually pretty nice. Giving the food and stuff to poor people, things like that.
You think they once lived here?
Maybe? I thought they were related to a weird animal ship that we now have, but I don't think so anymore.
Is Furia familiar with the Great Hunt? She might have heard that somewhere before.
Go ahead and let me see here. Well, go ahead and I'm trying to think what this would necessarily be. Given your backstory, I'm gonna say this probably isn't something that Furia has run into.
Oh, that makes sense, yeah.
As her, and I won't go into too much as it hasn't all been revealed yet on stream, but I'll phrase it, it's just not where Furia's come from, so to speak.
Okay.
Fury's heard of people talking about hunting. It's people go out and hunt. It's people go out, they need food for their families, they need leather to make clothes. So you're familiar with people, the idea of people going out and hunting and taking care of things, but the phrasing "the great hunt" is meaningless at this point to you.
Just a really big hunt. People were excited about it.
Like a big one, yeah.
I mean, like every book you've looked at has mentioned it.
Well, I've only looked at 2. I mean, I can look at more books if you want me to.
I mean, you can.
I mean,
Anyway, here's this dagger. I don't know if we have time now or you want to save it.
Maybe when we're, I don't know, out of here. I feel like this is more time sensitive. It takes
Fair
me a
enough.
while to figure out things.
I will open up the bag of holding and drop the dagger in there.
Okay.
'Cause I already have enough weapons on me already.
Flashbacks, man.
Yeah, I know. It's happening again.
Vera, would be a dear and also get those coins all the way up there, please.
Scoop them up and hand them down.
Thank you. Gonna put that in the Grammy holding.
Okay. Make sure you put a note in your inventory. You have 4 beast coins.
Yes.
Now, again, for all purposes, they are gold coins. You could accidentally spend them. They may be something else, though, as they have this strange, basically 5-fingered beast. Looks like a beast paw with 5 talons on it, embossed on it. And so as you're looking at those leather chairs, there is a very thick coat of dust on them. Looks like nobody sat in them in a long time.
Okay. Yeah, he'll leave it undisturbed.
Okay.
Are there any books in these shelves that look like they have been used often, like have little to no dust on them, or are they all similarly caked?
And go ahead and I'll say make an intelligence check here. And as you're looking at these, I will say I'll give you advantage on this as you're sort of poking around and looking at these books.
Dirty 20.
Okay. As you're looking at them and you're sort of checking, just scan through, okay, this looks like it might have a little less. No, it's still. The further you get, basically chronologically down the wall, heading towards your right, the newer the dates are getting.
Okay.
To the point where you get to the end of the bookshelf, and the shelves stop on the second shelf from the bottom. There is a book there. Looks to be only lightly coated with dust. And still a little bit, but nowhere near the amount that you were seeing down at the other end.
Okay. I'll take a look at it, flip it open.
Okay, as you flip it open, the date stamped on the inside cover says 1485. It's from last year. Just a few months ago.
Whoa. Okay. Does it have anything else in it, or is it just kind of like almost a placeholder?
As you're flipping through it, it lists a lot of the same information.
Okay.
It would take you a little bit of time to read through it, but as you just sort of, flip 5 or 8 pages, okay, hunt on, date X, flip through another hunt on this date. Get towards the end as it gets closer to the winter months. It looks like it's basically almost like a daily or weekly planner type record of all of these hunts.
Interesting. I'll put that one back.
Okay.
But
You do also notice as you're looking at this that there is a spot on the shelf next to it that has no dust on the shelf. Looks like there was something there that's been removed.
uh-oh. Okay.
Perhaps another book.
Okay. What kind of creatures were they hunting? Did they include,
Bestiary.
bipedal, intelligent
It's-
creatures? Pink hair?
Go ahead and make a. We'll call this an investigation check, as you're now trying to scan through this book to see if you can find something in a short time frame.
Oh, farts! 6!
As you're flipping through, you see what looks to be the picture of a rather large owl bear.
Okay, cool. Okay. Well, these are all of them are history books of these great hunts, and it looks like there was one that was here. This one's for last month, and they put it back. So maybe that has something to do with what's going on. I don't know. They're going out and hunting beasts. Something.
Well, you said that the people were nice.
I wouldn't say nice. I'd say they have their moments, but I'm not 100% sure. I wouldn't.
Because it doesn't line up with them. I mean, the people in the boat, and she points. The coins had the symbol on them that was in the boat. And if this hasn't been touched in a while and the people in the boat are part of this hunt thing, why would they be lighting everything on fire, burning down an inn with people inside of it? It doesn't make sense.
No, then maybe it's something here on the island.
Maybe
Maybe
they used
They
to
took
be
a boat from somebody else, just like we took a boat from them.
I mean, it's
Oh gosh.
possible.
Anyway, if you're done with the books, maybe we should go figure out the rest of this place.
I didn't think I'd ever say it, but yes, I'm done with the books.
I'm sure we'll find more.
Somewhere Maylee Bailey's hurt. Nice.
If we're done investigating the water, that seems like we've seen all we need to see in this area.
Just remember where this is, in case it comes up again.
Yes. We still have this area and the lever. Did we want to go into? Did we want to make a left here into this part
is
of the cavern?
What's down there? Just another room?
Yeah, as you look in, it seems to be an empty room.
with a lever.
Well, why don't we stand outside the room and outside this area here and reach in and pull the lever?
Well, the lever's right outside the door, so it's right next to Snow Moon in that hallway that the majority of you are standing in right now.
As long as nobody goes inside in case of traps
Or falling objects?
or spike times where the room is smushes.
This,
Anybody have a long stick we could push it with?
I mean, I could use the hilt of my sword.
I guess I could use my quarterstaff.
Then-
She realizes she has a long stick on her back.
Yeah, that's pretty much a long stick.
Is it that sort of thing that I could?
It's
stick out my
literally, it's like
stick?
think of it like an oversized light switch. It's up like this. If you were to hit it with sufficient force, you could knock it down, you think?
I would. All right, everybody, stand where you're going to stand, and take out my quarterstaff and either I don't know if it's up or down, but I'll try to.
Right now it is
switch.
currently up.
So I hit it on the top,
Oh, okay.
or at least I tried to.
So we'll say go ahead. It's easy enough. You're just swinging straight down. So go ahead and make an attack roll for me. See how we'll make contact here.
$13.
Okay. So easy enough as all of you hear a crack, and you watch as the switch goes and slams down. And that's where we're going to take our break for this evening.
Oh,
So don't go anywhere,
Back
folks.
from
We'll be back in just a couple of moments as our party eagerly wants to find out what did Furia just do and what is going to happen here. So we'll be back in just a few minutes. Thanks again for hanging out with us, and we will be back soon. And welcome back, everyone. As our party has just flipped a lever with a resounding swack from Furia's quarterstaff. And immediately upon that lever hitting the ground, or dropping down, all of you notice a large metal grate drops from the ceiling.
Oh crap.
Sealing the room like this.
No!
Oh.
Perhaps we put it back.
And it's as you're looking at it, the lever is just down, and the separation. While granted I use dynamic lighting so you can't see each other, it is literally just metal bars. So there is about a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch gap in between these bars, so you can still see each other and talk, but you can't like get an arm through to like reach through and open the lever.
Well, so Art and I on this side, can we still reach the lever, or
No, you wouldn't be able to get your arm
either
through.
side? Okay,
But like Sarah, Furia, and Lydia would be able to walk right over to it and flip it without a problem.
Oh, okay.
Not so much Sarah, but
Oh yeah, it might take a little step ladder or something, but
It's interesting that they would have the lever on this side of the grate. Why would they want to block themselves in with a teleportation circle? And the books.
Maybe,
safe room.
maybe we. Depends on what they're teleporting through. I don't know.
Protecting knowledge from the interlopers? I'm not too sure.
I'm gonna step forward this time and just switch the flip. Flip the switch.
and you're as the gate comes sliding back up.
Alright, we know what that does.
Let's not do that again.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a heart attack. Ugh.
Well,
Maybe there's a hidden door or passageway. Or maybe we should look up. Maybe there's a chute above us. She's pointing to the room to the south. Or we could just go and explore a different hallway.
Like this little cubicle here, is that what you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Since it doesn't seem to go anywhere, it's just an odd space.
Mhm.
Yeah, so, well, mind you, it's the room itself is just. Guess I'll say it is just sitting there. So the room itself is actually larger. Just because I.
Yeah.
Actually, let me do it the
No,
easy way.
that's okay.
Let me just go. There we go. Now if we go back to, you're looking, had I just done that at the beginning, then I would have been able to do this quicker. So that as you look down, there's just a large, what appears to be empty room. And you can see there's another opening that leads off to the side, which logic would tell you probably meets up with that southern hallway.
Okay.
Oh, alright. Well, I guess we got 2 options now. Or 3, I guess.
Where did we saw that there was a light coming from somewhere.
So
I think that was just
the light was coming from way down, so I'm not sure if you'll be able to see where I'm pinging. Basically, I'll shift ping it.
Yeah, I can see, but I can't see, but that's okay.
Yeah. So it's
And that
coming from
was,
down there. So you saw light
Okay.
coming from down that southern hallway. Now, likewise, as you're looking into this room to the south of you, you can see there's an opening to the. I guess I'll say it would be to like the character's right, and then it opens to a hallway, and you can see a tiny flicker of light coming from that hallway. So given, again, just given how you're remembering the route, what you've seen so far being laid out, you're pretty sure you could cut through this room down here and end up in that same hallway. Or you could go back through the door and end up in the same hallway.
Okay.
Towards the light, then, I guess.
Yes.
Oh.
Should we cut
Or
through
we could
this
snoop
room
about.
while we're here and check? Or
Sure.
Well, they go
why
the
not?
same place.
Oh boy.
all right. Yeah, I'll start to head in.
Oh, okay.
There's nothing like different about the walls in these rooms, or they're just all kind of...
As you're all starting to walk in, everyone go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Yeah.
Ooh, 19.
Okay.
Yeah, 19.
24. I shouldn't be complaining. It's my strong suit.
Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. I have I have advantage on it, and I rolled the same thing twice.
Oh.
I
Okay.
got 18.
I got 10.
Okay, and Sarah?
8. Wait. 19. There we go. I can't do math.
Literally the only one who failed the save is Art. Art, as you walk in and you're looking at these walls, you feel something almost like you walked through a curtain.
Oh god.
And you start to see things appearing
Oh.
in the corners of the
Oh.
room. And what you see, and you are the only one who sees.
Oh god. Wow.
Whoa?
So now we get to. As you're looking around the room, you can see what can only be described as trophies.
Oh.
Each figure pristinely preserved. What looks to be a half humanoid, half snake individual. For those playing at home, it is a Yanti,
Yeah.
a Milison with sword pulled out, looking like he's about to swing at somebody. Beside him looks to be some sort of strange lizard folk. Down to the south, a young copper dragon. Beside that, what appears to be a drider, a half drow, half spider. Again, this is for player knowledge. I don't know if Art would know what a drider is. So you're seeing basically a man spider centaur. Right in the middle of that back wall, you see a actual centaur. And then in the back corner, standing right behind Sarah and Snowmoon, you see what looks to be a tree, some sort of tree creature. A face of a very beautiful young woman. Seems to be coming out from within this tree with a look of a sort of a strange cross between sadness and rage. You also see a rather large circular base in the middle of the room that does not have anything on it as of yet. But it is about 6 inches high. The rest of you would probably notice as Art walked into the room, all of a sudden just stopped and started sort of like weird spinning.
Artemis, dearie?
What is it?
Yep.
What's
Oh,
wrong?
so there's a many things. Can you, am I, that, they point at the dragon.
Like,
And that thing, they point at the drider.
Or the room?
see,
Slow down. I don't see anything. What are you? What happened?
Oh. They're gonna go like right up to the the dragon trophy, I guess.
Okay. Are you walking over the central platform or are you walking around it?
I'm not walking on that thing. Gosh, no.
So as all of you watch as Art just sort of walks around the room and heads over towards the southern part.
Like, it's, you said it was perfectly preserved?
This thing is... It's very sort of disconcerting for you to look at this thing. As
Oh,
it
yeah.
looks... It literally looks like it could be reaching out to bite you. With one exception. Is it looks almost... I guess the best way to phrase it for those of us watching at home and here, but it almost looks like it has been lacquered. Like the looks... It, as you're looking, you can see every ridge and bump of the scales on its body. The little bits of gum between the teeth. But everything has this almost unnatural sheen to it.
Oh, wow. I
And-
don't think I've ever seen or will ever see this. Wow.
I
What,
will
what
start
are you seeing?
A dragon.
the dragon.
A tiny
A
one. But
Dragon?
Uh,
It fits
yeah.
in here? I
it's
heard
like
there
a
were
baby.
Mm.
a baby dragon.
And you see it right in front of you.
Is it
Oh,
moving? Attacking?
no. I would be dead. Maimed at least. They're like, they're frozen. They're
I'm going. Snowmoon is gonna scream out "Hello" in Draconian and see if he gets a response.
Alrighty then.
oh crap. Don't ah!
I gotta check something. I already had you open. Okay. You don't hear anything come back as a wait in a few moments.
He'll just kind of look around. I guess he'll walk towards closer to Art, like
Okay, as
through
you
the
start-
center,
As
not
you start
knowing that.
walking, go ahead and make a dexterity save. As literally you take one step and all of a sudden you kick the corner of this thing.
It's a 6.
And as you all watch as Snowmoon stumbles and just face plants
Oh.
and just
Oh.
floating about 6 inches off the ground.
Oh.
Oh,
At least to everyone who's looking, Snowmoon, you know full well, while you can't see what you hit, a little bit of blood running out of your nose from just face planting on this, that you definitely hit something hard.
Yeah, he'll just stand up and kind of spit the blood and wipe his nose a bit.
It doesn't do any damage, but it's one of those where you look at the ground and you're going, oh, I've got 6 inches. You start pulling your hands up and just... because you didn't have it.
yeah, watch out for that thing.
Yeah.
Is the dragon the only thing in here? I mean, Snowman just tripped over something.
There's a base. I'm guessing these are trophies from a hunt or something. Oh, there's a cat. Uh,
What, a cat trophy? Doesn't
ah!
sound.
There is now. It's mounted on the wall.
No! They're all
What kind of things do
creatures.
these people hunt?
Judging by what I can see, a centaur, a dragon, man spider. Don't know what that is. There's a snake person, a lizard person, tree person. Oh,
Are-
boy.
Are they magical? Why are you the only one? I wonder why only you can see them.
I don't know. They look like they're all covered in a film, like a lacquer, they're preserved.
You know magic. Can you tell if it's some sort of enchantment or if it's an illusion of some sort? I mean, Snowman just tripped over it. It must be
Yeah.
invisible.
And at this point, I'm gonna reach out to where, like Art is saying, these things are, and see if I can feel it.
So go ahead and I guess we'll say make a perception check
Okay.
as you're trying to perceive with your hands. Normally it would be disadvantage, but where your art's sort of telling you where everything is, it's just a straight roll for you.
Okay. It's a 10.
Oh, okay. So easy enough as you're sort of poking around, and as you're standing closer to the Drider, or one with you reaching out to that, go ahead and roll just a straight D20 for me.
Okay. 16.
Oh, okay. As you're reaching, you manage to, as you're reaching out, you end up finding what appears to be a hand. Seems rigid and immobile, but again, as you're sort of like blindly touching what you can't see, you're definitely getting the feeling of, fingers, thumb.
Oh, I can feel something here. I can't see it. It almost feels like a hand. Art, you said this was like a spider person?
Yes. I mean, if you want to. Jeez.
It's a little weird, Art.
Steelers.
He's holding this thing's hand.
Longingly.
What are we?
Are we human? Or are we cancer? Do you want to touch the dragon? I don't know. I feel weird. This is really weird. I don't know why that's here.
I mean, I guess it's trophies, like you said. If this is like the hunt, this is their spoils of the hunt.
Why am I only able to see them? Must be my superior wizarding skills. Really.
I'm going to leave the room and then I'm gonna come back in again, just to see if something happens.
Oh, okay.
Because I want to see these things.
As you watch, Inferior walks out and starts to walk back in. Go ahead and make another wisdom save.
Ten.
And as you walk back in, you get that same sensation that Art got, where it feels almost like walking through like a silk curtain or like cobweb, where it's just this pressure or presence on your skin for a second as you walk through. And as you come through, all of a sudden you watch as these things that Art's describing start to appear in front of you.
Oh, I hate walking through cobwebs. Whoa!
Exactly.
Well,
But you see them now.
oh, walk out and walk back in. And
Okay.
Okay.
and I mean, I got cobwebbies, and now I can see them.
Yeah, so I'll walk out the same
Okay.
entrance we walked in, and then
Back in.
try coming back.
Okay, so go ahead and both of you make wisdom saves again.
It's gonna be a nat 1.
Okay, and as you walk back in, Sarah, it seems like they're now starting to appear for you, and you get that same. You're a little more comfortable with cobwebs, given your love of staying in the shadows and things of that nature, but still that same sort of a sensation of just that slight crawl over your skin for a second. And Stoma, what's yours?
A14.
And again, same for you.
Why would they have it hidden? Don't hunters usually put these sorts of things on display?
And they're so realistic, except shiny.
And Snow Moon is walking over towards the dragon during all this.
I have to be looking at the tree person.
Are you okay?
His head just kind of lowers a little bit, and yes, I'm fine.
We haven't found what we came here for. I'm going to move a little bit out of this room. It's giving me the heebie-jeebies.
Can I make a check to see if I know what the tree person is?
Sure. I'll say go ahead and make an Arcana check because it is not a natural creature.
14.
Okay. So you're not overly familiar with them, but you have heard of tree spirits called dryads. Basically, they're spirits that live within trees that help keep forests healthy.
I just thought it'd be, thumbs in my belt loops, looking at this thing, just head tilted to the side. Huh? Maybe they aren't as good as they were in those books.
And I can see the pedestal or
In
base.
the middle that you just fell over, yep.
I'm wondering what might happen if we put one of these statues or trophies on the base here.
Well, as you're looking at each one of them, they all are on their own bases.
Oh, okay.
It looks like they just have an empty spot for
Got it.
something.
Either something they haven't achieved yet,
Or
or
something.
it's magic so that whatever is on there turns into one of these things. They're so realistic.
I'm gonna poke at the centaur, and I want to see if I give it a squeeze, is there kind of a resistance
So as you reach out to poke and touch at it, it's the minute you come into contact with it, you don't get the sense reaching at the lower half, the horse portion of it, you don't feel fur. Whatever this coating on it is, it feels literally like something coated in resin. So as you touch it, it's very thin. So as you're looking at it, you really don't see. It's not like, oh, I've got this dye and I coat it in 3 inches of resin. It looks like someone took a paintbrush and brushed 2 layers on top of this thing, just enough to coat it, to protect it, but enough so that it doesn't distort.
Is there like a give to it? Like,
Doesn't seem to be. It seems to be rigid.
This is not what we came here to find. It gives us information, but I don't know if we should try to figure out more about these things until later. I mean, the way that they're preserved, I have a feeling that they're still inside. Like somebody just encased them. But I don't know if it's wise to go about trying to undo it. Right now, anyway. We could try. But, I mean, they might attack us, too. I don't feel like fighting a dragon right now.
Yeah, maybe we should just keep moving then.
it's something to remember for later.
Alright, down towards the light again.
Yes?
Okay. As you start walking out, as you sort of crane your head, look to the right as you walk out, you see another lever on the wall right next to the doorway, as well as a clear path back up to that initial room you first came into. Then down to the south, you have another, seems to be an open room. The single door on the far wall that appears to be closed. The light is glowing from off in the, looks to be the near left-hand corner. Seems to be
Maybe
the
no more.
torchlight is starting to go. It's starting to flicker and get a little lower. So you've only really can see about 10 or 15 feet from that corner. Somewhere
If I
basically
look-
like in this.
At the ceiling, can I see where if there is a gate where it would drop if I pulled the lever?
Yep.
Assuming it's the same setup.
Yep, so as you look up, you do see a row of the same setup, and it is right, basically it's immediately south of the lever. So where you're standing, it would fall basically between you and the lever.
Okay. All right.
No time like the present.
Right.
Oh boy.
So this torch has been here a while, but not that long.
If it's still
So
burning.
who is here? Maybe they're down the other hallway. Or there was a door to the south?
Yep, there's a door right south of Art right here.
Or we could try the door if they lit the torch down here.
I'll check for traps.
Okay, go ahead and make an investigation check for me.
11.
Okay, door does not appear to be trapped.
All right. I don't see anything, and I'll try to open it.
Okay, you go ahead and twist the doorknob. Door seems to pop right open. Oops, that was the wrong tool. I wanted to do as my selector. I go like that. And as you slowly open the door and look down, you can see what appears to be a metal gated doorway. Looks to be almost what you would expect for a jail cell. As you're looking down, you can see So basically, this small hallway, 10 feet wide in front of you, the same stone, sort of cobble flagstone ground you've been walking on this entire time. At the end of the hallway, floor to ceiling, are these massive metal bars. They run vertically, and you can see where they dig down into the ground and go up into the ceiling. Then horizontally, from left to right, dug into the walls, all down about halfway down the wall. Then all of a sudden, on one side of it, there's a doorway. On the other half, the bars continue the horizontal pattern the rest of the way down. The door is currently ajar, swung in towards you. As you're looking, you notice, peering down into the room on the other side, there's another one of those matching sort of jail cell door and wall setups on the, well, Snowman, it would be on your right-hand side.
Okay. It looks, I see like a door made, it looks like a jail cell maybe, and the door is open. I guess I'll take a look further inside.
Okay. So go ahead and make a perception check.
Okay.
Now you can also see that
Say 11.
okay. So yeah, you can see that there is another torch lit in the corner right over here. This one seems to be basically a, I guess we'll call it a little newer, is it has not burned down quite as much yet.
I see another.
So that's the only thing
torch
you
here.
notice with your check.
And it looks like it was lit quite recently because it's still burning pretty strongly. I guess I'll just keep moving forward.
Okay.
Just kinda-
Yeah, we're following the trail of the lit torches. Although I do feel uneasy going in here. Well, maybe I shouldn't. But I do.
I don't see any other signs of life yet.
Now, so as you turn and get to that corner, right when you turn, as you don't see any light. Doesn't seem to be any sign of lit torches further up along this way.
Well, I don't see any more torches this way, but the hall does continue on. And I guess I'll just keep slowly moving forward.
Okay, anything the rest of you would be doing as you're passing through back here?
No, I would just be following Snow Moon, but
Okay.
at a slight distance.
Just checking out the cell, quote unquote, I guess.
Okay, go ahead and make an investigation check. And Snowmoon, do me a favor, stop.
Okay.
Oh boy. 13.
Okay. So as you are poking around, you're not seeing anything. But at the same point as you're looking, something doesn't quite. But something is just seeming a little off to you. About that time, you hear a sound off in the distance. And Snowmoon, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw for me.
All right. 10.
Okay, and Furia, you witness this. as all of a sudden the ground beneath Snow Moon vanishes and Snow Moon starts to fall.
He just you hear his scream echo as he.
You only fall 15 feet down. You take 1 point of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And as you land and you look up, you see a strange image as the ceiling above where you fell slides open. And what appears to be a large green blob
Oh no.
drops from the ceiling, landing on top of you.
Oh no.
And with that, I need everyone to go ahead and roll initiative.
Oh.
Yeah, I would be yelling at the people behind me as soon as the
Yeah,
snowman
as they all-
disappeared, but
Yeah, it's literally a snowing. This is all pretty much happening right at the same point. Art's sort of looking down and going, huh, heading back. And then hearing Snowwood scream, furious, everything just sort of hits the fan.
yeah, it wouldn't be coherent. It would just be yelling.
Are you?
So we are going to, I'm going to use Lydia to roll for this thing's initiative because I am.
I got a critical 1.
Oh, so did I. Come on.
Dear.
Whoa!
I got
Even the-
21.
Even the cube did better than you did. I don't know.
Well, I have to roll for the cube. That's just using Lydia's sheet to put them on the
Oh, I
counter.
see.
Yeah.
Oh, why can't I have this one?
Ugh. So
Okay, so we're
how
going to go
these
on.
roll 20.
Oh,
Do you, when you go to the little notes, do you have a character sheet?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Make sure
yeah,
you
sorry.
click on your, yeah.
Yeah, so if you click on the, if you, because I don't know if it'll work because of the, I just threw a dummy sheet on there for today, so give me a second, I can do this.
It's okay. I have 21. I put it
Yeah,
in the
but
chat.
to put it in the turn order, you need a sheet and all that fun stuff. That's okay.
There you go. Where did, did I not click, I didn't click on the token. There we go. So now, sorry. So now go ahead and change your 9 to a 21.
You click on the 9 and then.
There we go.
And then go, okay. Now there is noise going on.
Oh crap.
Things are happening, folks.
Oh no.
Okay, so this is... Wow. Alrighty then.
Not good.
No, this thing's dexterity is a joke.
Oh.
Okay. I don't think you can have an initiative below a 0.
You never get a turn.
It has a -4 and I rolled a 2 on the die.
Oh.
So it is literally, it's no matter what anyone else rolls, this thing's going dead last.
Negative initiative. Never play the game.
Okay. That brings us to you, which is... Okay, that's not bad. That'll bring us to you, and yours is... Oop. Okay. that. Oh, I forgot to roll Lydia's actual roll. Okay. Lydia's not great, but she did a good sight better than some folks. So we are now ready to roll. And with that, we will kick on our bonus battle. And it starts out with Sarah. You can hear shouting coming from around. You heard Snowmoon shout once, and Furia is now just incoherently, basically screaming at this point.
I'm gonna start running towards Furia, and I'm gonna use my full 25 feet to do that.
Oh,
There's
okay.
also a lot of pointing, but just down the hallway.
Leeches. Yeah? Yes? No?
One more.
Sweet.
So that's 25. Now you
Okay.
also have action, bonus action. I don't rogue often, so I don't know if you have cunning action where you can dash on your bonus action, or if you don't, you could take the dash action, which would give you another 25 feet of movement. But you give up your attack if you do that.
I guess first I'll ask Furia what's going on.
Snowmoon fell down a hole and then a blob fell on top of him.
Oh, that's not
I
good.
think it might be eating him.
That's worse.
I've seen one of those before. Maybe a little bit different. But it's not good. We need to get over there.
Okay. I do not have dash. I have uncanny dodge. So
Okay, so yeah, you could dash if you want to use your action to dash. Then that would give you another 25 feet.
okay, then I'm gonna dash towards in the direction of Snowmoon.
Oh, okay.
About here.
And that will okay, so that will bring us over to Furia then.
I am also going to run in that direction. I can get up to, I think there. It's hard to see the squares on this one.
Yeah. Didn't think that through when I was
Yeah.
drawing out with these. Close
Yeah,
enough.
it's there. With my 35 feet improvement. And I guess I'm just going to. I'm really not thinking this is going to be very effective whatsoever. And well, I guess I would reach for my bow, but then realize arrows are probably not going to do much to a jelly thing. So I'm just going to produce flame at it, but try to aim for a section that Snowmoon probably isn't in.
Yeah, at this point you can see this thing is basically, picture one of those Jell-O desserts. So this thing, basically someone made a 10-foot Jell-O dessert that has just fallen on Snowmoon. He's got his arms up, and at the moment, it seems like he's managed to keep the majority of it off of him. So he's not actually within it, but at the same point, he's really in a situation where he really can't move either, because it is a 10-foot blob, and he is in a 10-foot hole. Then you got to find a way to go 15 feet up. So, okay, so go ahead and make your attack as you throw some fire down a hole at it.
Fire in the hole? That is a 21 to hit.
Oh yeah, that'll hit.
Seven points of fire damage.
Alrighty then.
as my hands burst into flame and I sort of wipe the flame off into one hand and I chuck it into the hole.
Okay. You watch as the flame sort of goes in, and you can watch as it hits and sort of spreads a little across the top surface. And you watch as it, as much as a blob of gelatinous goo can, you watch as it sort of almost like flinches and quivers a little bit at the impact.
That's my turn.
Okay, and that'll bring us over to Lydia, who... Okay. So Lydia can hear the shouting. Do we think Lydia would be more like... Yeah, I don't think Lydia would hang back with Art. I think Lydia would try to charge to catch up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As much as I don't know whether or not Lydia would be comfortable with that. We'll run with that. So Lydia has got some okay movement here. So we're going to have Lydia. Nope, I didn't want to share the image. Q, there we go. So 30 feet to there.
Yeah, if nothing else, she would probably want to help out Snow Moon.
Yeah. So Lydia will burn her full turn and action dash to get there. That'll end her go. That will bring us over to question marks.
Oh no.
Okay. So with this and all, we're just going to make sure. Okay. Yeah, one definitely. So, Artemis, you start hearing shouting
Uh-huh.
coming from the solid wall in front of you.
Oh boy. Okay.
And all you can hear, it sounds like a woman's voice. Are you fool? They're here! Must have fallen into the trap. That'll keep it. We are leaving now. Get your things, go! And that is... Okay, so... we can get that far. And then... let's see, what's there for... Oh, yeah, you got plenty of space. And then you listen as you hear a grinding sound as the wall in front of you slides open towards you. And you see a dark-haired woman with black feathers tied in the back of her hair, flowing back. And she turns and looks... You were not supposed to be here. And is going to continue her path and run right past you. So you can take a swipe if you'd like to as she's taking off past you.
No, I'm probably not going to.
Okay.
She's not concerned with me.
And then a not even 5 seconds later, you see Lord Tamford come running out of the room, clutching a number of small items in some sort of like sheet, as he just doesn't even look at you, just is running, trying to keep up with her. And he has something held in a bundle of sheets against his chest, just running to get through.
Oh crap, maybe I should have. Uh-oh.
You can still take a swipe at him if you would like to. He's running past you now.
arrow to the knee. You know, disable. You don't have to kill him.
Glass him.
Oh boy. Don't have an arrow. Here we go. I'll chuck a dagger at him.
Okay. So go ahead and, well, he'd be running by, so it would be a melee attack when he was in range. So you wouldn't have to throw it at him.
Okay.
So you could stab with the dagger. If you have a quarterstaff, you could swing with that. Any melee weapon you have.
Yeah,
Or you
just
could
be,
attempt to grapple him if you'd like as well.
You know what? Yeah, let's attack. Let's attempt to grapple him.
Okay, so go ahead and make a strength check.
Grab his legs.
As he may not be getting past here.
That's a 5.
Okay. We're going to see he is going to try to dodge out of the way of that.
Do you want a different dice?
And that is a 3.
Oh
So
my God.
as he is running by, just ignoring this diminutive gnome, Artemis, you reach out and grab around his ankles. You are both prone on the ground at the moment, so it will cost you a little movement to get up as he was running full tilt. And as you grabbed, you both just went as he face plants and is now grappled by you. He had already used his action to dash, so he cannot do anything to try to get out of your grasp at this point. And that brings us to Artemis.
Oh, guys, I think we have a problem over here too. Oh boy. What? Can I attempt to like wrestle out of his hands like what he has, or?
Sure. Right now he's on the ground, and you know you've got a couple of seconds before he can get up and try to get out of here. So if you want to let go of his legs and go after what he's holding, be a contested strength check to try to get it out of his hands.
Okay. Can I also be like asking him at the same time, like, what are you doing here? What is happening? Oh,
But you can certainly try.
okay.
So you're trying to rip that out of his hands?
Yep.
Okay. Give me a strength check, and we'll see how he does.
Oh, +0. Here we go. Okay. 11.
What did he get?
I've never felt so strong.
As you let go of his legs and start wrenching this, basically all you can see is this thing wrapped in a sheet that he sort of had cradled like this. He's completely ignores you asking questions. They're pulling. They have it. The gnome has it.
Oh shit.
And then that is all he is doing.
I feel like I did this in the opposite way it was
Sure.
supposed to be done, but here we are.
Now,
You only
you're
get one
still on
reaction
the
per
ground.
round.
Do you want to use half your movement to stand up?
Yes.
Okay, so Art's going to stand up. And then stay where you are, or are you moving?
I'm running. I'm running away.
Okay, so you've got probably about 10, 15 feet of movement. He is going to try to grab at you as you're running away,
Oh,
much
shit.
as you did to him. So you can either try to power through or use dexterity to try to dodge away from it, whichever you prefer.
Dexterity.
Okay, let's give me a dex check.
Jesus. 8.
3.
Oh yeah.
So all you hear is you're running. She's running. She's running. And that'll bring us to Snow Moon.
God!
Okay. So, like, what can I do in terms of like, am I fully enveloped by this?
So,
jelly
mechanically,
by now?
as most players have run into this creature at some point in their D&D career, you
Mhm.
are not currently considered engulfed.
Okay.
Basically, it has dropped. Think of it like you are in a 10-foot hallway with 10-foot ceilings. It is moving towards you, and it is about 6 inches away.
Okay.
Now,
Uh,
you've got a wall behind you. You really don't have any. The only way out is pretty much through it to the other side, unless you can come up with something different. Because right now, it is literally falling on top of you, and you are pretty sure that its next act is going to be to try to swallow you whole.
Okay. So, I'm gonna reach into my Dungeoneer's pack and take out 2 pitons,
Oh,
one in
okay.
each hand, and I'm gonna try and like climb up out of this pit, like driving one into the wall at a time.
Okay. So you don't have a climb speed, so it is at half speed. So
Okay.
you would be able to make the climb, especially with the batons. It would give you advantage on the check. The one thing you would need to know is you would be climbing through this creature.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
you can definitely do it. Well, I should say you can definitely try to do it. The dice
yeah,
will tell us whether or not you can, but
like I don't know if I could take it out in one swing, because if not, I'm gonna be likely engulfed anyway. So yeah,
okay.
I'm gonna try and climb right
So go
through
ahead
it.
and give me an athletics check.
That is a 24.
Oh, now as you're looking down, Furia, as you're watching this thing trying to push down on Sona, and all of a sudden you see as he pulls out these two. You really can't see what's in his hands, but then all of a sudden, looking at the far wall, just into this stone and dirt, and you do manage to crawl your way out of within this creature. Again, as you're crawling through it, you do end up taking a little bit of damage as you are crawling through its body.
Okay.
That is 12 points of acid damage.
All right.
Scale cleanse.
So that was just movement, right? That didn't count. Did that count as an action?
Nope, that
Or-
was your movement to do it.
Okay. So
You are now up on the side. It is 5 feet down beneath you. It is out of your reach for melee.
okay. So when Furia attacked it with fire, did I notice like if that had an impact or not?
Yeah, it definitely seemed to have an impact.
Hmm.
It's a little hard to. It's again, you were 10 feet away from it. You definitely felt the mass sort of like. Again, I don't know if quiver is the right word, but it definitely reacted to the attack.
Okay. Hmm. So I'm gonna stare down into the pit at this creature, and again from my Dungeoneer's pack, I'm going to take out a torch, light it with my tinderbox, and drop it into the pit.
Oh, okay. So as you drop
if I-
if you drop the torch down, it just sort of lands on top of it. And again, that same sort of like waterbed Jello dessert thing is just sort of sits there.
Okay.
Didn't catch on fire. You're not sure. It doesn't seem to be reacting to it at the moment.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that'll be it.
Okay. And that will bring us over to the cube, which, as you have crawled out, it just sits there, as it cannot climb. So that brings us over to Sarah, who can hear Art shouting from back around the corner that there is a problem.
Oh. I can see that like Snowmoo is okay thanks to like Lydia holding
Yeah, with Lydia holding the light, you can definitely see Snowmoon is crawling. I mean, you can see Snowmoon's, he's got some of this weird sort of green gelatinous stuff dripping off his body. But yeah, from what you can see, it looks to be okay, and it doesn't seem like that thing has been followed him out of the pit yet.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Gonna run back towards Art.
Okay.
And then.
And you see a somewhat familiar individual laying on the ground. You see Lord Tamford, who you had run into when all of the townsfolk were brought into the inn with you before he left on his what is apparently no longer such a secret journey. And you can also see Art with an armload of something.
Okay. I am going to pull out a dagger from my pack, and I'm gonna say, Artemis, dearie duck, and I'm gonna try to throw it at him.
Oh, okay.
You got it!
So go ahead and make your attack roll. I think a dagger's range is 20 feet, so it will be at disadvantage as you're a little further away.
Okay. It's gonna be a 3.
Oh dear.
As you throw the dagger, it goes a little wide. You're trying to make sure to not hit Art, and it just hits one of the bars on the doorway at this sort of jail cell entrance. And you watch as this, and it hits the ground next to Art.
Can I still run?
So let's see, you went 5, 10, 15, 20. Actually, you would have had an extra 5 feet of movement.
Okay.
Let me grab my, to make sure. Yeah, it's still out of range. So let me see here, because I don't know if you don't have dash. What does D&D Beyond say you have for bonus actions?
That's a very good question. I have sneak attack, expertise,
Let's see here.
insightful fighting, and uncanny dodge.
Okay.
Granny did not think
Actions,
this
these
through.
Oh no, so you have cunning action. It's under features and traits. So as a bonus action on each turn, you can take dash, disengage, or hide.
Damn,
So, yeah, so you can use a bonus action to dash.
Yeah, I'll take that bonus action to dash, and just enough so I'm next to Art.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
Like
So
this
right
way, this
beside
way.
Art, or are you getting between Art and Lord Tamford?
Between.
Okay, so you have the movement to get there. And now you have literally put him in a situation where he has to go through you to get out. Okay. So it'll bring us over to Furia then.
I'm gonna yell over at Snowmoon. Glad you're good. Art seems to be having some problems. I'm leaving.
Yeah,
I'm heading back.
Yeah, I can hear it. I'm gonna jump across when I get a chance.
Now I'm going to run over that way.
Okay, and
And
you
see
can
this-
see... Yeah, you can see Art's holding something now. Sarah's now standing over... it's getting a little hard to see, Lord Tamford. You can see somebody looks to be in some decent clothes, but is laying on the ground behind 2 people.
Whoever he is, don't kill him, please. Just, wait till everybody's here.
I will try my hardest.
I mean, I could restrain him from here, but I think I might also get you two as well.
Not preferable.
Well,
Oop.
eh.
I mean, there's restraint and then there's dying, sweetheart. We
I
we're
don't think it will hurt you. Let's give it a go. What could go wrong?
Okay.
And I'm gonna cast Entangle
Okay.
on the area where they are at. It's a 20-foot square. So if I
Okay.
center it on the guy in the fancy clothes, it would get both of those.
Okay. So we've got a 20-foot square going right around our. Let's see what we want.
Area is difficult terrain, and everybody must, in the area when I cast a spell, must succeed on a strength saving throw or be restrained.
Okay, so that is a strength saving throw I need for Art and Sarah, as well as Tamford.
That's a 15.
That's an 8.
That's a
15 will-
12.
So my spell save is 14.
Okay. So he is going to be restrained.
Granny.
She slips through the small openings.
Where did my net go?
And for some reason, vines and plant matter seem to grow from the cobblestones and wrap around, or attempt to wrap around people in the area.
Okay, and Art, you failed as well?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, and you're just restrained.
Okay, and that'll bring us over to Lydia, who, hearing that everything is going back on this way, is going to charge back around. Yeah, Snow Moon's okay. That is 30 to get over here. Then seeing, does Lydia have anything that she can do trying to... Okay. I don't know what Lydia has prepared, so I'm just going to run with what she's got flagged on here at the moment. And, just to aid even more in keeping him sort of on his laurels, Lydia is going to cast Fog Cloud. And center it just back, basically on his backside. So, no, I didn't want to draw that there. So that he is caught in it, but the rest of the party is not. So basically, Sarah and Ars, as you're watching, as you watch as these vines are sort of creeping up and wrapping around his legs as he's laying there, all of a sudden, swirling behind him, you watch as this small speck of what looks to be almost like a heavy rain cloud just rapidly starts to swirl and expand into a massive, thick, obscuring fog. And you two are not in it, but it does make it very difficult to see Lord Tamford at the moment.
Oh.
That will bring us over to our first question mark, who is to the north. And seeing what is going on here. Looks over and... Says, can't actually get that close. So, Art and Sarah, you watch as the individual turns back, looks down. Suppose time to cut our losses. Pulls out a hand crossbow, points down at the person, and fires. And he is prone, so it is at disadvantage. But I think that is still going to be enough to hit it. That'll definitely hit. Okay. That is... Okay, as all of a sudden you hear, no! And then you just sort of hear this gurgling sound. As you can start to see, Sarah, you start to see on the cobblestones in between this plant overgrowth, there's now just blood starting to pool out from underneath this fog cloud.
Oh my.
Who did that?
Not me!
Was there another person?
Haha!
We need to go after them.
I'm a little predisposed at the moment.
And that will
Sorry.
bring us to that individual, who unfortunately did not have enough to survive a single crossbow bolt. And that brings us to Artemis, who is currently restrained in this doorway.
Can I try to be not?
Yes, it would be a strength check to break out.
Yeah, and it only takes your action.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, it's an action to break out. So if you don't want to, you can stay restrained if there's something else you'd rather do with your action. But
No, I'm good.
oh,
I'll
okay.
break out and get that out of here.
You don't want to be entangled with the corpse?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay, so what's your strength check?
20.
Oh, that does it.
Yeah, that'll definitely get you out. So you are easily able to tear the things that had gotten you bound up. So
Okay.
you have your movement and bonus action left. Keep in mind that the area is still difficult terrain, so it takes basically double movement.
Oh boy. Okay.
Or rather, half speed, I guess is a better way to phrase that.
Oh man. I'm gonna retreat a little bit actually, just because they wanted whatever was in my hands now.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, so that'll bring us over to Snow Moon.
Yeah, so I hear all the commotion down that end of the hallway, and I saw Furia take off. So I'm just gonna back up enough to get a running start, and then attempt to leap across the gap here.
Okay, and what is your strength score, not your strength modifier?
My strength score is a 18.
Okay, yeah, so as long as you back up 10 feet, so you go back 10,
And
then you run forward 10, and you can jump, so your full movement would get you literally right over onto the other side.
Okay, yeah, so I'll attempt to do that.
Oh, no, you don't even have to attempt.
Oh, I don't have to attempt. I
Yeah,
just do.
as long as you have that 10-foot running start, you can
got it.
jump horizontally your strength score.
Got it. Okay, so yeah, I guess that's
So
pretty
that would
much
be
all.
that is your movement 30.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, that would be your movement. So you could use your action to dash if you wanted to, or
Yeah, I'll do that, just to get as close
Okay.
as possible.
okay, so you can go ahead and move the rest of the way. That'll bring us to our gelatinous cube, where I'm just going to remove off the initiative, because unless one of you jumps down into that pit or otherwise falls into it, they're pretty much out of the battle at this point. And that will bring us to Sarah.
Can I see the person who crossbow bolted
Oh yeah, you can definitely see. She as you're looking at this individual again. I will. She just so our viewers at home can see a little easier. I will click in. Can you all see her?
Oh, yeah.
Should have popped up on the screen for you. No, it didn't.
I do not see.
Okay, let's try Shift Z. Control Z. That
There we go.
Oh,
Hey.
Did not want to work for me. So that's literally what you're seeing.
Okay. Okay.
And she's, again, not even really acknowledging you at this point. Just was looking down him and you watch as she fired and then put the hand crossbow away.
Ceasefire? Ceasefire? Anything? No?
She just
Not
sort of,
even-
very sort of half-hearted, almost like confused, like, what? Why are you speaking? That sort of look on her face. Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Okay. It's gonna be an 8.
Oh, okay. I can see exactly how she responds on her go.
I guess I'm gonna just maybe back up a little bit, just to be out of range in case the crossbow bolt comes out again.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I'm gonna that'll be the end of my turn.
Okay. That'll bring us over to Furia.
Alright, I'm going to drop concentration on the vines.
Oh, okay.
So it's no longer train. And run forward. There.
Oh,
Now, this
okay.
is the first time I've seen the lady,
Yes.
and noticing that she has feathers in her hair, I sort of move my hair to show the feather in mine, and just on a whim, what could it hurt? Hey, you know Moby?
Huh. Oh, okay. As you call that out, she doesn't seem to respond to the name. Just sort of like turns. Was looking with a little bit of confusion to Sarah at first, but then you don't know. Looks back and just like it looks completely lost.
I sort of just shrug and it was worth a try. I don't believe I'm not gonna do anything, but if she starts to attack, I would like to hold a produce flame.
Oh, okay. Easy enough to do. So that'll bring us over then to Lydia, who is going to charge up. And again, I don't think Lydia's got anything really. Yeah, there's nobody else seems to be attacking, so Lydia wouldn't jump out to attack on her own necessarily. So let's see. Okay. She doesn't have anything jumping out that would really help prevent this person from leaving. So she's just going to catch up and end her turn there. And this individual looks back at the group of you that she can see and just says, "Don't get involved again. The captain wouldn't like it." And as you watch, she mutters a couple of words to herself under her breath, and you watch as her body shrivels and shrinks into a small black bird.
Pretty sure the captain's dead.
And you watch as Alright, come on, don't. That is not accurate at all, you weird thing. There we go. As all of a sudden, I'm just gonna drag you over there, stick my little black bird over. And this black bird is gonna take off flying to the north.
Oh man, I wish I could do that.
You are no longer there, so that brings us to Artemis.
Oh boy. Any suggestions? Because right now, I'm not too sure what to do.
In the interim, they're gonna take a look at it, I guess. Whatever is under the sheet? Like what they just
Okay.
grabbed from this dead body.
So, given what you're looking to do, it would be your action to look at everything that's in here. Still want to go through it now?
I don't know. Fear, should I try and shoot the bird? I don't know.
If you want to. Although, I have a feeling we should try to get information out of her, but I have a feeling also it's going to be very difficult.
I'm going to try to shoot the bird.
Okay, so let me see. 10,
I would be
25, so
moving
you can
back
get to-
into.
Yeah, well, no, that's gone. So you can get all the way up to here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because there's no more difficult terrain. So
Oh,
it's-
okay.
Let me just see. Ruler. Can you see it?
Yes.
It's going to be a little tight. As it's right, but you can definitely try and take a shot at it if you'd like to. About 55 feet away.
If I still cast magic missile, does it automatically hit?
What's the range? That's 120 feet,
Wow.
right?
Yes.
And it'll automatically hit.
Okay.
So you can fire them straight back, aiming at Sarah. And if your intent is to nail that raven, it'll just bang a U-turn and go right over the top of your head. He starts to fly out and slam into this thing, and what are we looking at?
10 damage, not too much.
Okay. As I slam in, you hear a very angry sounding caw come from the distance.
Oh dear.
Anything else you'd be doing? So that's movement and action. You've got a bonus action left if you got anything.
No.
Okay, so that'll bring us to Snow Moon.
All right. So he's hearing all this. He's gonna race around the corner, and still can't really see what's going on.
Yeah, you can see a couple of your friends standing in front of this massive fog bank. You don't see Art anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Can I see that body, or no?
Yep, you can see it. It's a little difficult. It is mostly covered by this fog cloud, but you definitely
Okay.
do see that there is some dark shape laying there, and there's blood starting to pool on the ground, but you really can't see what it is or who it is.
I guess I'm gonna use my action to dash, which will take me like right out into the center here of this, and I'm just like, Furia, what's going on?
So what, like right into the
Hey.
fog cloud?
Oh, I thought that was the vines. So that is still the fog cloud.
Yeah, that's it.
Vines are
That's
gone.
the fog cloud. The vines are gone.
Okay. Yeah, I guess in that case, I'll stop just short of it.
Bird lady shot Tam guy.
Bird lady.
Bird lady.
You know, I'm bear lady, she's bird lady.
I guess. I
I don't know if
Bird lady
I
up
don't know if
here.
there's rare birds, but
I mean, do we even know who she is? Have we seen her before?
she had feathers in her black feathers in her hair. She doesn't seem to recognize Moby, but who knows?
And who's
Who
this?
knows?
He'll point to the body on the ground.
Uh,
The chief guy.
Lord Tamford.
Okay, so it was Tamford that got. Okay, I missed a lot when I was fighting off that jelly, I guess.
oh, don't worry. I'm needed to be caught up to speed too at the moment.
Yeah, I guess I'll end my turn there.
Okay. That brings us over to Sarah.
Gonna look at Fiera and Snow Moon and the others. I have many questions. But I'll be back. And I'm gonna I'm gonna try once again to throw a dagger at this bird. So I'm
Okay.
gonna go up to where about Art is, and let's see if we can do a chuckaroony.
Let's see. Well, before you roll it, so looking where you're within range of it at disadvantage. If you use your cunning action, though, you can. Let me see here. So if you go from there, you could get up to that point, and then from there, you could run another 25, which puts you here, which would put you within the regular distance for it.
Oh, I thought I used both. Yeah, let's
No,
do
because
that.
it's not difficult terrain anymore because Furia dropped to concentration.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay,
yeah,
let's,
from there now, you're actually one closer, so you're right there. So yeah, now it's just a straight roll to throw a dagger at it.
Okay, second verse, same as the first. What number is that? 12 plus. Is there any modifier?
So it's whatever your, so you're proficient with daggers, so it would be 12 plus your dexterity modifier.
Sweet. 15.
Okay, so that'll definitely hit. Just go ahead and
Yes.
roll your damage.
Oh my goodness, it's very hard to read D&D and Beyond. So let's go over here.
I believe
5.
a dagger is 1d4, I believe.
Oh, I was looking at my me damage. That's gonna be a 2.
Okay. As you watch as the dagger slams into it, and you know it makes contact, but it doesn't seem like it did as much as you were expecting for a dagger of this size to this small little black bird.
Okay, Artemis, can you try to hit again?
Give me a moment.
And that'll bring us over to Furia.
Right. I'm also going to move forward, and seeing as how ineffective that dagger seemed to be. Where's my thing?
Oh my god. move? Okay, sorry.
Okay, there's a wall there. I did not know that. I think I moved 35 feet. I don't know.
Let me see. From where you were, let's grab ruler and you were right behind Sarah, correct?
I was right. Yeah,
Yeah. So
it was.
you can actually go a couple more if you have a 35-foot movement. There you go. Now you've hit
Right, so
35.
yeah, I'll go there. Yeah, I could see what I'm aiming at better there. And should have looked this up first. I'm going to just assume, and I'm going to send down a moonbeam on top of this bird instead of reaching for my silvered arrows.
Okay. So go ahead and make a roll, and this is it's a con save, and it hits on the beginning of their turn. But we're gonna go ahead and roll. I'm pretty sure it's a con save, right? Yeah.
Yeah, con save.
Okay. Okay, that's not bad. That is a nat 20. So they're going to make the save, so they take half damage. What's the damage you rolled on your moonbeam?
10.
Okay. That'll take effect at the beginning of their next turn. I'll just add it on, add it there now, so remember it. Okay. Anything else you'd be doing?
That's it.
Okay, let's see here. Okay. And what's your spell save DC?
14.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that was 10 damage, so they only took 5 of that. That's right. Yeah. He definitely wants you to. Definitely seems to make an. Well, it will make an impact on their turn, but that'll bring us over to Lydia. I'm just going to use her full moon to try to get you up by 10, 25, 30. Seeing as everybody is trying to kill this thing at this point, is going to cast Sacred Flame because she's had some good luck with that. This is going to make a dexterity save. And of course, because I said Sacred Flame, it's going to miss.
Ah!
It's just the way it goes.
You know, and that will bring us over to this individual again. Who, seeing what is going, well, or they're feeling what is going on in this beam, slowly cooking it. It is actually going to take off flying straight out the door. And it is going to disappear, starting to fly up into the air. So at this point, it is out the door and another 50 feet beyond it as it is dashing. Is there anything that any of you can do that you think would enable you to catch up with this thing? It's moving at this point at 100 feet around.
I would, on my turn, I would shoot a silvered arrow at it.
Yeah,
With
you
my
wouldn't.
longbow.
You won't even have line of sight on it at that point.
No, okay, then then there's no point.
Okay, so with that, you're going to take us out of initiative. As the strange bird lady has fled. Snow Moon has survived his encounter with the green gelatinous ooze. We'll have to see if he turns into a ninja. Or a turtle.
Superpowers.
And Lydia will drop concentration on her fog cloud, leaving the deceased Lord Tamford laying on the ground.
Well, that wasn't a werebird. I mean, it is safe to check, but I wonder what that was all about.
You would all have noticed when you came charging down the hallway that there is a room at the end of the hall on the other side of the body that you hadn't seen before. It seemed at some point during the battle a doorway was opened.
They came from here. That's open now. The Lord Tamford dude was carrying this. I don't know what it is. I haven't looked at it yet. Said that we're not supposed to be here. The surprise we're here. Yeah.
And what was the papers?
Papers?
From
Papers.
A scroll.
The first body outside of the cave?
The stuff that you grabbed from Tamford at the very beginning of the fight.
Oh, the stuff wrapped up in the sheet.
Oh,
Mhm. I was assuming they're, but
All right, you taking a moment to go through them now?
Now? Yeah.
Okay, so as you start opening everything up and sort of plop down on the floor, the first thing you notice is that the sheet actually looks to be a very crudely drawn sea chart. And there are spots, some circled, some crossed off, and notes written by a couple of them. You notice one that shows looks to be almost like a very childish drawing, big round body, two little legs, two little arms, little round head. Note underneath it just says Hara. Then you'll see another circle on an island, and then just the letter T underneath it. Another one, a little more off to the northwest, a little further up. And just it has a rather hastily drawn X at one point on the island. And there's one other small X marked that seems to be out in the middle of the ocean. That's what we'll do is I will drag you over here. And the other spot that you are seeing marked, as some of these locations, some of you will recognize based on, and again, it's a very crude drawing, but you see this roughly drawn X. Is that same color? Is marked down here. I should really just stop trying to draw and just use text. Yeah, let's see, that looks so much prettier. I won't have to torture you people with my bad mouse drawing skills. Yeah, we're gonna move it a little south so it's not covering the name of the street, because So, and then on top of that, you see what look to be. I'll say, Art, go ahead and make an intelligence check on this one. Actually,
Oh boy. Okay.
we'll jump back over here.
Natural 20 plus
Mhm.
6.
Okay. That actually helps immensely because this was a difficult check.
Oh.
As you're looking at these items, they start to look familiar to you. They look to be that your best guess, given the appearance of them, is very striking, but the materials you sense are wrong. It looks like these are placeholders or models, so to speak, of the small pieces you've been gathering. As you start looking at the pieces they had tied up, you see one of the pieces, the largest one in there, looks to be a little smaller than the version of basically the base plate that Snow Moon stole from under the statue after Furia knocked it down. You have what looks to be a ball of twine. Looks to be a little bit smaller than that strange sort of crystalline stone ball you obtained inside the Zaratan. Then there's another piece, looks to be just sort of roughly carved out of wood. Looks to be like basically the trunk or one piece of the support beam that you found at Lady Erlisa's. Looks like they were setting up a dummied version of this thing you've been collecting. And they had all the pieces in that room just over to the right.
Does anybody get the familiarity here with what I'm holding on to? Kind of looks like the stuff that we're looking for.
You mean the gate pieces?
Yeah.
Well, I guess they were after the same thing we were.
And that's like that map is a C chart, correct? With locations marked.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we could assume that's the location to find, or where they
Or-
found these, or
And I point at the one marked Hera, or the ones that they were after already, and we got it first.
Oh boy.
Now you
I
notice
think-
that their map does not have something marked at Kyre Westfall.
mm-hmm.
Seems like these individuals were unaware of that one, but they have one marked out in the strait that you were not aware of.
We should finish up here and get back to the boat.
Yeah, unfortunately, the only thing looking like it's valuable is that dagger, but if we have more places to go now with this map, that's helpful. And we got a new ship, but what are we
And-
going to do about Tam?
what can we do for him at this point?
Should we take him back to town? Tell the people there to leave. He was abducted and killed, and we were too late to stop it, and maybe they should just gather their losses and move on with their men missing. And
Lydia emphatically agrees with that idea.
as you might.
We could always just
And then we could be on our
leave
way.
now that we have what we came here for and more.
True, but I'd rather not leave an island in bad standing like we did last time.
Oh boy. Yeah, why'd you have to bring up the past? Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Well, there is one more room back here we should explore, perhaps, before we do anything else.
That makes sense. See if there's
And-
anything else of worth in here.
Yeah, he'll start drifting into this last.
Okay. And Snowmoon, as you enter the room, two things jump out at you immediately. First is what appears to be a beautiful, very large marble or granite altar in front of you. As you're walking in, you can see that same claw-like handprint on the side, carved into the stone. On the top of the stone, you see what looks, on the top of the altar, you see what looks to be a rather large, almost oval indent. Sits down about a half an inch or an inch. Shape's somewhat familiar to you. Looks sort of like that big oval disc you pulled out from under the statue. Standing on the north wall, or rather in front of the north wall, is what really catches your attention, though. As even as you're walking in looking at this altar, recognize the hand thing when you finally lift your eyes and turn and look. Jumping out in front of you, what you see is on this raised platform, what looks to be about a foot and a half, maybe 2 feet off the ground. Two circular, shining metal discs. Beautifully carved and arched inward marble supports. Reaching up to the top. Resting in between them. A very dull crystal that seems almost as if it's trying to shine with this deep, almost blood red glow. And for our players and our viewers at home, this is what Snowmoon sees.
And that's the crystal, like that at the the keystone, or
It looks similar,
oh, okay.
but again, it looks like as you're looking at this, it's now the keystone that you found, and again, we've been calling it keystone because in architecture, when two arches meet, that stone at the middle is what gives it, they call it the keystone, so that's what gives it the structural support.
Right.
So it looks very similar to it, but on a much larger scale. This opening is almost 20 feet wide and 20 feet tall.
Okay.
And you see two braziers on either side of the room, darkened. Both of them with this strange image on the side of it that looks like everything is being directed. So while you're looking at the bowl, picture basically if you think of like a teardrop. As the bowl looks normal, but everything seems to be almost pointing towards this archway. And as we find our party standing in front of said archway, looking at this, well, rather snow moon at the moment. I don't know if the rest of them followed you in. That's where we're going to call an end to tonight's session. As the party is standing in front of something. So don't forget to join us next time, folks, as our party will continue on dealing with these strange occurrences, these individuals looking for this portal that they're currently collecting parts for. And what is this new doorway that they seem to have stumbled upon on this small remote island? What do these hunts have to do with them, with the portals? With the kobolds who mentioned hunting on this island when they first spoke with them? There are many questions for many of our players. So don't forget, next time you're trying to threaten a strange black feathered wearing bird lady, convince her not to run away. Don't forget to stand in front of the prone helper as, a human shield. Don't forget to add your proficiency bonus. We'll see you next week, folks.